Hi everyone, I'm the plant propagator and welcome to my channel. Today we're back for part 2 of Spring Surge. And what I want to show you is the other half, I think, of the plants that I have growing in my space. It's a beautiful day, a little windy, really bright sun, not a cloud in the sky. And I'm going to go through and show you some of the flowers, but more importantly, the spring growth, which means the new pseudobulbs that are coming out, some unusual things with my orchids, but also I want to share the other plants in my collection. Everything is doing really, really well. And I'm going to do things a little bit different today, which is what I do in a lot of cases. But I want to show you things, explain things a little differently. It's not all about, for me, it's not all about the flowers. There's other things to consider when you look at plants and when you look at spring growth and the surge in growth that you see, that you should see in your plants in the springtime. All right, so what I'm going to do is get some things set up and get behind the camera, and we'll go from there. Okay, and we're back, and we're starting in an unusual place, and this is not where I intended to start, but just caught my eye, so what the heck, we'll take a little bit of a change, of course. So this is an amaryllis, and I've got outside in Southwest Florida, you can grow these things outside, and they tend to do well just in the ground. So this is, these are some of my amaryllis plants, and then that one for some reason got trapped underneath that chair right there where my orchids are mostly living, and maybe I should have moved it. I saw the bloom kind of late come out on it, but right here there's another bloom coming out on this plant. Again, the plants know it's springtime. They do well, and all of these are double pink flowers on these amaryllis, and for some reason that's what I got and that's what I bought. But let's go here, and this is kind of hard to get to because of where I have it located, but I wanted to show you some of these seedlings and how nice they do look. So these are Encyclia tampensis seedlings that are probably only, they were deflast, I think, maybe 7 months ago, not that long ago. So these were deflast fairly recently, but look how nice some of these plants look. New pseudobulbs coming out. They look pretty nice. And I don't know whether it's this batch of seedlings. This is a progeny batch from a native plant. Actually, a progeny of a native plant that was local. So these plants are just doing really well. These are some of my Cattleya hybrids right here, but what I wanted to share with you, if you can see it, is the incredible growth that's coming out. That's a bougainvillea flower right there. Anyway, it's under, but look at the new growth. I don't know if how well you can see this, but the new growth, for example, on this plant right there, and then when we take a look at this plant, that's a new pseudobulb, big pseudobulb coming out of this plant. And again, these things were just deep. Look at this another one right here. I see that new pseudobulb coming out of that. There's another one back here. These are big plants that I even started out in bigger pots right there, and a third one right there. But the amount of growth that I'm getting out of these seedlings is really, for me, I'm happy with it. It's pretty nice. So these plants are all doing really well, and again, it's springtime, so we're getting a surge of growth. Okay, moving on just a little bit, this is a relatively new acquisition for me. This is Cattleya facilis. I think that's how you pronounce it. I picked this up a short time ago from Palmer Orchids, and there is a bloom spike. There's a bloom. Blooms are going to come out of there. This is going to be spotted. At least that's what the images show. The foliage on this plant is, I don't know if you can tell from there, there's some spotting on the leaves on that. There's some spotting on the leaves that have the bloom spike associated with it. So I'm into spots, and we'll see what I get out of this. I also do want to show you, good or bad, I'm not sure, but this is Pamela Hetherington right here in this orchid, this dark red rust-colored pot. And this is not one of my favorite plants. I thought it would be. It's a pair to one of my favorite plants, but it just grows down and all over the place. It didn't want to stay in the pot, and it grew off. And what it's done is it's attached to the fence. So all these roots that are there and that are there, and I think if you even look down here, yeah, the roots, those are all roots from Pamela Hetherington. And it's, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this plant. But then let me look below it, as long as we're looking for new. So that's, anyway, that's Pamela Hetherington. I don't know if you can see new growth coming out of this one. Lots of, lots of new pseudobulbs coming out on this plant that has not yet bloomed for me here. So I'm overall, I'm pretty happy with how these plants are doing, but let's keep on moving. And it's going to take me a second to weave my way out of here because I'm right kind of behind and in the middle of a bush. So as we move over here, some more seedlings are in here on this basket. And some of these seedlings, some of my seedlings are getting pretty big. So I'm getting excited, yay, with all of these seedlings that are in this basket. There's another, everything's kind of buried and maybe hard to get to. The other thing that I'm excited about that I want to share with you is that these are some seed capsules here. There's another one back, oh, leaf in the way. There's another back, oh, that's not it. It's right here. It should be right there. There's another seed capsule back there somewhere from, this is my FCC Cattleya lutemaniana. So I'm happy. I'm going to be getting a lot of seeds, hopefully, from that plant. Okay, moving on just a little bit. I just found on, I think, no, not on this plant, but on this plant, the right here, that dried sheath right there, there's flowers in there. So that is Williams drumbeat, so I'm happy. I'm going to get my second bloom off of that. Toshie Oki that I shared with you pretty recently right here. I harvested the pollinia from that, so I'm going to be doing some hybridization with that. I've got right next to it is Clear Stars, a Nodosa hybrid. So that's doing well. It's a tiny plant in a small pot, but I've got a much larger plant. I'm going to spin around and show you. That's my other Clear Stars right there. So a much bigger pot with the Clear Stars in it that has, if you can see the tag on the lower left, Swinging in the Breeze. That's got seed capsules on it. So get dizzy here. Going to move back around. I do also want to show you, just for fun, that I have, this is a Encyclia tampensis. It doesn't look really good, but it is flowering. So you can see, maybe not that well, but you can see there's some flowers on my tampensis. It's not the kind of time of the year that you would expect to see flowers on this plant, but it is flowering, and I'm happy that it's doing so well. All right, over here is flowers they're kind of at the end of their run from Hawaiian Prominence America. So this is, there are 3 flowers here, and again, from the tag that you may or may not see hanging from that, I may cross that. This is a division of Mahina Yahiro, and I think it's going to be doing pretty well. I'm not sure if we can see any roots or new pseudobulbs coming out of it, but it's still doing nicely. Over here, I do want to show you this. This is Wulang that always seems to be blooming for me. It's got a lot of flowers. I think there's 2 or 3 bloom spikes in there, and they could be longer. But the other thing that I want to share with you, that I want to show you, is right over here at the base of this. You can see 2 new huge canes growing out of this plant. This plant, I've got other plants of this that are in pots, and in pots they do well. But the root system on the side of this tree is just incredible as we look into this plant and how it's going up the tree, down the tree. The other side of the tree is even more impressive. But this is how you get support of that amount of growth. These plants get big while still attached to the tree. Okay, so moving on just a little bit as we're over here, I do want to show you there's again, we're looking at a new growth. So the new cane that's coming out on this plant on the left is new. As we move up, there's a new pseudobulb coming out of this. I'm excited that I have more of my seedlings that are in here. And you can see where the sun is really harsh, so it's kind of hard to see what's going on exactly. But I hope you can see in the middle there some, a new cane. Yeah, right there coming out of this plant. The one next to it right here, new cane on that. So the seedlings are all doing pretty well. As we move on to other plants in the collection, this is Momolani Rainbow right here, and no canes, but seed capsule is beautiful. I'm sorry, no flowers, but seed capsules, beautiful, beautiful seed capsule one there, and then another one right here. So you can see an old spent flower above it, and then the beautiful seed capsule growing below it. As we move over a little bit, I think this is Ports of Paradise right here, and I don't know if we need to see the whole plant. It's a nice looking plant, but as you focus in on the base of this plant, you can see, I hope right there, a new pseudobulb growing out there. As we look to the left a little bit, kind of buried in between those 2 pseudobulbs, you can see maybe, I hope, another pseudobulb growing there. So when it puts on that much new growth, that is just a good sign. Okay, let's see, what do we have here? There is, now let's go back, I forgot to show you this, on Momolani Rainbow that has the seed capsules there. As we look to the side of the plant where it's growing over the pot, hopefully you can see a new pseudobulb growing out right there. And again, this is what you look for, or this is what I look for, and this is what I enjoy seeing. There are some things like it's hard for me to get to, so you're not going to see everything, but look at this Encyclia tampensis right here. What you can't see that well in this, I've got another one I want to show you, is that it's starting to show signs of flowering. And this is again a big Encyclia tampensis that I grew from seed. It's one of my most vigorous plants, and actually it is the parent plant from those seedlings, I think, that I showed you earlier. It's just a really vigorous plant. Over here is Star of Siam. This is not really putting out new pseudobulbs right now because it's still at the tail end of flowering, and if you can't see, it has 3 pollination tags hanging from it because I crossed it yesterday. Okay, if you're tired of seeing the new pseudobulbs coming out, maybe I should slow down on that just a little bit. No need to see this. Okay, so right here, this is something that's interesting. This is Mai Kai that normally should not be blooming this time of year, but it's got blooms on it. All right, so doing well. This is the plant that has produced a lot of the keikis that I'm growing, and it continues to do well. It is just really big for the pot here, so this needs to be carved up into pieces. As you move up, I just want to show you this right here. This is Hawaiian Prominence America, and this had 3 flowers on it this morning that were faded, that fell off, and the only thing left, as you can see, is a capsule that's starting to form from a pollination that I made probably about a week ago. So anyway, pretty exciting. The other thing, for me, pretty exciting. The other thing is that, just so you know, if we keep track of things, these are the Phalaenopsis that I made a video of a short time ago. That these are 2 of the 3 bloom spikes, and the 3rd Phalaenopsis plant actually did put out a bloom that was right there, and it was contorted and kind of hung up on some of the other parts that were associated with it. So 3 of the 3 plants that I mounted on the base of this tree did put out bloom spikes. On this one, there are 3 plants that are there, and there's one that's blooming that I shared with you previously, and there's one, this one right here, is going to be blooming soon. It's probably going to be a few more days. All right, and let me show you a few things here. So first of all, as we take a look at this tree, these are all Vanda roots. As we go up this tree, Vanda roots, Vanda roots, Vanda roots. The Vanda's on the other side of the tree. This is Vanda salina that seems to like it here and is blooming a lot. As we go up, hopefully you're not getting too dizzy. The roots just keep on going up the tree. They end about there on this side, but then they go up higher on the other side. So these are, this Vanda is just doing well, as you might imagine, from the incredible growth that I'm getting on this plant. Okay, back to the base of this tree. I did want to share this with you, and these are, I hope you can see it, this is the big pseudobulbs that are sticking up here. This is Certipodium punctatum. These are Florida native plants, and these are actually progeny seed from a Florida native, which you can, and they do well in the crotch of trees, so they like to be in areas where kind of moisture and a little vegetative material collects. And so I put them here at the base of these 3 Christmas palms, and what you can see, I hope, they go dormant in the wintertime. So short days, they lose their leaves, they go dormant, but then in the spring, which is this time of year, you can see, I hope, all of the new pseudobulbs coming out of the base of these plants. So the biggest one, I think, has 2, maybe another one out around back, right there. New pseudobulbs coming out, and the same thing with these other smaller plants right here. I hope you can see the new growth coming out of the base of these plants, and I'm pretty excited about this because these plants, they've never bloomed, and I'm curious to see what they look like. All right, moving around, there's a few more plants that I want to show you here, and so this is the other side of the Vanda salina that I've shared with you previously, but again, you can see the roots attached to the tree, and then there's some hanging roots that are just, there's a lot of them. But the other thing is, you go up here, these are the flowers. So this thing seems to be blooming, seems to like where it is, and it blooms a lot. So at one point, there were 5 bloom spikes open on this plant, and the 3 old ones have since faded, and now the 2 new ones are doing okay. All right, I do want to show you just a few more plants here, and this is new bloom. This is, I don't know what kind of Oncidium this is, but this is these are relatively new blooms, and on an Oncidium. This is a no ID Oncidium, and it's doing pretty well. It's been growing here for a while. It's not a spaciolatum, but they you know, the flowers are nice, but this is one of those plants that I just picked up and don't have an ID on it. So it's just started to bloom. I noticed yesterday that the blooms were starting to open. I do want to show you, this is my, I should say, this corner is my seedling corner. So I've got these baskets that I have, where I have my seedlings all over here. And the amount of growth, again, and maybe I'm boring you with the amount of times that I'm saying this, but the new pseudobulbs that are coming out of my seedlings, I just really like seeing it. Again, these are probably about a year year old after maybe a year from deflasking. Maybe not even that. These are newer ones right here, but look at that nice pseudobulb growing out of this plant, and look at that nice old pseudobulb right there that has thickening. But these are nice plants anymore. There's another one. If we take a look at this, I know this is a relatively new addition here, but the new pseudobulb growing on the back of this plant in this pot. I don't think these probably were deflasked, I would guess 8-9 months ago, not very long ago, and they're outside and they're doing extremely well. We can take a look at some more seedlings right here. Hard to get to, and now things are swinging, but it's the same type of thing. But let me show you some of my other ones that are doing really well. You can see a pretty large seedling right here where there's that new pseudobulb that's growing out of it. Again, pretty young plant. These are some of my older seedlings. These were probably deflasked about 1.5 years ago right here, so these are considerably bigger. And as we move down to this group, again, look at that nice leaf growing out of this plant, and looking good. And then the one behind it is right here, and again, I don't know if you can tell that new leaf looking pretty good. These plants, the last one in this group that I'm going to show you, these were placed here and in this container probably maybe a month ago, so these are really new seedlings, but you can see, you know, nice, they look pretty good, and you can see nice growth on these plants. And again, it's springtime, so this is what happens. Aside from having my nursery plants here, I do have some plants that are in intensive care over here that needed some help, and I'm going to focus in, if you can see it, on this plant right here, and right there in the center of the screen is going to be a new pseudobulb that is coming out of this plant, but then right behind it, right back there, there's another new pseudobulb growing out. So I think this plant is going to be, even as bad as it looks right now, and it has flowered for me, and as bad as this looks, I think I'm going to get some more flowers on this plant soon. Okay, moving along just a little bit, and moving to non-orchids. So this is a limequat, and I've had fruit start to form, a combination between a hybrid between a lime and a kumquat. And I've had fruit start to form, but this plant, I bought it as a really small thing, put it in the ground, and insects love it. And maybe that's the problem with these things, is that the insects really do enjoy chewing on this plant. But I'm hoping that some of the new growth that comes out of it, I hope I'll get flowers, really nice fragrant flowers on this thing. It's flowered before, it's produced small fruits, but then they fall off. And speaking of fruits, not something that I like, but maybe some of you like it. So this tomato plant is, believe it or not, it's at the tail end of being active. And so this plant is, I'm not sure how much longer, because it gets, you know, springtime, and then it's going to start getting warmer. And when it gets warm here, things really struggle. So let me back up and show you what my pergola looks like. So this is my orchid pergola that's on the back of my pool cage. It's outside, it's separate, it's freestanding, and I have most of my plants are, as you might imagine, are on the top. I have aluminate, 50% aluminate shade cloth, which looks nice, but it keeps the plants really cool. A lot of people use black shade cloth, but black absorbs the sunlight, and it gets hot as a result of that. This is metallic, and it reflects the light. So this is what I just recommend to anyone that's using shade cloth, is a material like this where it's reflective. It only lets 50% of the light through, and it doesn't overheat when the sun shines on it. Okay, so going closer, and there's irrigation. I built this setup so that there's irrigation that comes in and these plants are irrigated 2 to 3 times a week from one single spray head that's at the back of the pergola. As far as, it's hard to see, there's so many plants in here. It's really hard to see what's going on in here, but there's a few things that I can highlight. This is a plant that this is at the tail end of this. I'm actually not even using this for any of the crosses. This is an Encyclia hybrid, Redlands Sunrise, I think. And there's other, there's plants here. There's a few that I want to show you just because I think it's, there's a little bit, some things that are noteworthy, but most of the plants are at the top. So I want to show you, I actually want to get a ladder out and show you what it looks like climbing on a ladder looking at these plants at a high level, because it's, for me at least, it's kind of fun to do that. But as we look at some of these plants, I want to show you this one right here because it's kind of close. And so you can see, I think, this plant wasn't doing really great, but you can see the new, waving in the breeze, you can see the new pseudobulb coming out of this plant, and I'm excited to have that. There is a, oh man, this is so hard to see. I think you can see there's a bloom sheath coming out. That's a Cattleya intermedia right there. It's tried to bloom a few times, not successfully, and hopefully I'll get a new bloom on that. This is a dendrobium right here, Ukulele Baby, and I love the name. And as we follow this up, we got bloom coming out here, and hopefully I'll see those blooms soon. This one with the pink tag, if you know me and you watch my channel, the pink tag means that this was a gift from the Plant Propagator Junior. So she gifted me, this is my only Digbyana, and it has yet to bloom. She got it for me as a seedling, and it's got a long way to go. I'm going to show you the plant here, but I can't show you right now, at least, the blooms. This is my Cattleya violacea, where I'm so excited because I have my first blooms coming out of this plant that you can't see from our current location. As we look along, let's see, what did I want to show you? Oh, this is going to be really hard to see. So this is a dendrobium species, and I can't remember the name offhand, but I've got a new, if we follow up this, that's a flower spike right there coming out of this plant. It's bloomed for me once before. Okay, moving on just a little bit, and I'm going on, and I do want to show you the ladder view. This is one of my, it's a tiny flower on this plant. This is a plant, I can't remember the name of it. Oh, Gretchen Garrick is the name of this. This is for some reason, I like the look of this flower. So I'm going to try to cross something onto this, but look at, it's got a bunch of small flowers coming. This thing doubled in size when I repotted it in this, I think this is a 6-inch pot, and then now it has 3 bloom spikes coming out on it, and I'm just really excited. I think it's doing really well, getting a little bit of a surge of growth. Okay, moving on. Oh, let me show you just a couple more things because I've been going on a long time. This is the back and the back side of Yellowbird. And again, from the tag that you see swinging in the wind, one of those flowers, you can see, I think, in the center of the screen there's a seed capsule forming. As we look on, oh, got to show you this guy right here. Again, more tags swinging in the wind. This is Amazing Thailand, Finer Flare. This is my AM. I've got some crosses on that I'm excited about. More seedlings here. I've shared those with you. I've got a lot of seedlings up in various parts of the pergola. And but look at I do want to show you this because there's so many, and I don't remember what this plant is right here, the name of this plant, but there are so many. Look at the new pseudobulbs coming out. 1, 2, and you can see behind it 3, 4, 5, 6 on a small plant. and it looks like a 5-inch pot. There's 6 new pseudobulbs coming out of this plant, so it's exciting. Things are going crazy. As I look around, I can even see more plants that are forming new pseudobulbs, and they're just growing like crazy. Hamlin's Magic right here got some flowers coming out on this plant, so hopefully really soon I'll have more flowers and a lot more things to share with you. Okay, don't go away, because what I'm gonna do is get my ladder out, and we're gonna climb up and take a look from the top of the pergola, and then I promise we'll be done. All right, so hold on a second, I'll be right back. Okay, and we're back. So this is, for some reason, I like doing this. I like climbing up on the ladder and looking on the plants. There's I mean, they do really well up here. They're underneath the shade, and you can tell it's pretty crowded. But I think the orchids like being up here. And so we'll take a look at a few of them. I don't know if we need to take a look at too many of them. But they look, you know, overall, they look pretty good. And what happens, it's interesting, when I come up here, I see things that I just don't see when I look at them from the ground. So you can see some of this plant. This is a Cattleya Margolin. What is the name of that? Mangalin. I'll look it up and put it on the screen right here. Doing really, really well, and you can see that up here. This is a division of a plant that I made, and I think you can see the new roots are attaching nicely to the leca, digging down in there. No new pseudobulbs coming out on that. One of my seedlings is right there. Another one of my seedlings is right next to it. But as we move through here, I gotta look and see what this is right here. And yeah, that's an Eclandii. That's a Cattleya Eclandii, which is doing, I didn't know was doing so well. So that new pseudobulb coming up, that's looking pretty nice. There are some of the other plants, they're all looking pretty good. You can see new pseudobulbs coming out of a lot of the things. You can see that's seed capsule on this plant. This is the Cattleya intermedia right here, where you can see, I think, the bloom spike. So there's a bloom spike, and I looked at it before I started the camera, and I think there are 5 flowers that are down in there, which for me is pretty exciting. As we look on here, it's a little hard to maneuver up here, to be honest, and I'm trying to stick the camera in between some things to see some other things, and I don't know if you can see. Those are the flower buds on the Cattleya violacea. I think you can see that. But overall these plants are looking pretty good. And I just wanted to bring you up here to show you how things look, because I like coming up here. You know, the breeze is nice, the shade is nice, and the orchids are looking pretty good. As we move down a little bit, you lose perspective just a little bit. So as we take a look at the second layer of plants, and these are things that I can come close to seeing from the ground, but you know, there's different layers that are here, and there's different things that you can see depending on where you're located. All right, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did and you want to keep on seeing them, it would help me out if you can click on like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already a subscriber. All right, that's all I have for you today. Again, I hope you enjoyed it, and happy propagating.